one thing I always talk about is like how I emphasize and like hold value in stories. Like I think stories should be told, and like especially in our society today, people just make assumptions about people based off the little things, you know? And like so when I very first started this podcast, this was actually like a perfect example of what I had envisioned because it's like somebody I fuck with off the vibe, but I don't really know their story.
Okay.
And so we can like dive into the stories that we have because I feel like the like most valuable shit that we have in life is like our life experiences. So true stories that are based on like real life experiences is shit that I'm like super interested in,
Okay.
outside of conspiracy and truther and, spiritual stuff. Like I think that stories is kind of like the foundation to all of the realness. Um, and I've said that a lot of times. But in the meantime, like I said, since the last episode, one thing that I was like, regardless of who I was going to have on for this episode, I was like, I'm going to explain why I think stories are so important. And like, instead of, I kind of cheated, Chat GPT is like a real easy way to get summaries of stuff now. So I just Chat GPT, like, why are stories important for human beings? It says stories are incredibly important to the human experience for several reasons. A few of these I'm just going to skim, but then a couple of them I'm going to emphasize because I feel like it gets at the heart at what I'm trying to do with this whole podcast slash creative outlet that I've got.
Okay.
So the first couple, cultural transmission. Stories have been the primary method for passing down knowledge, values, history, and culture from one generation to another since before the written word. Myths, legends, folk tales, and historical narratives shape societal norms and individual identities. Two, cognitive development. Engaging with stories aids in cognitive development, particularly in children. It improves memory, comprehension, and critical thinking skills. Stories help in forming mental models of the world, understanding causality, and reasoning about human behavior. And then this is one of the ones I want to emphasize: emotional intelligence. Stories allow individuals to explore different perspectives and emotions, fostering empathy, compassion, and emotional intelligence. By living vicariously through characters, people learn about human emotions, relationships, and moral dilemmas. Some real shit. Then another one that I wanted to emphasize: social bonding. Sharing stories is a social activity that builds community. It creates common experiences and shared memories, strengthening bonds among individuals. In many cultures, storytelling is a communal event. Then five, entertainment and escapism. Stories provide an escape from the mundane or stressful aspects of everyday life. They entertain, offering joy, excitement, or comfort during times of need. This escapism can be therapeutic, offering a mental break and relaxation. And then six, identity formation. This is another one I kind of emphasized. Personal narratives help individuals understand who they are within the larger tapestry of humanity. Life stories give meaning to personal experiences, helping people to see their lives as part of a larger narrative arc. And then seven, another one that I wanted to emphasize: moral and ethical exploration. Stories often explore ethical questions and moral issues, providing a safe space to consider the consequences of actions without real world repercussions. They can subtly teach morals and ethics through narrative. And then another one is inspiration and motivation. Inspirational stories of heroism, success, or overcoming adversity can motivate individuals to pursue their goals or change their life path. They serve as an example of what is possible. And then nine is memory aids. Stories are easier to remember than facts alone due to the narrative structure. This makes complex or otherwise forgettable information more memorable when presented in story form. And the last one, another one I would emphasize, is psychological health or mental health. Engaging with stories, whether through reading, watching films, or listening, can have therapeutic effects. They can help in coping with personal issues, understanding one's emotions, and even dealing with trauma through art therapy or narrative therapy. Given these points, it's clear that stories are not just entertainment, they are a fundamental aspect of human psychology, culture, and social interaction. They are tools for education, personal growth, cultural preservation, and societal cohesion. The importance of stories in the human experience is profound, affecting us from the cradle to grave, shaping how we think, feel, and interact with the world.